Ladies and gents, home studio X, and this is how Israeli commandos hit deep in Iran. But on Happy Army, it's a Happy Army video. And yeah, this is going to be really interesting because this recent conflict is just intensifying. When I say interesting, I mean like this could be one of those butterfly effect that fucks up the world. Who the fuck knows? Any elements could screw things up. America could enter the chat. It might become intensify. Iran can suddenly say, surprise, mother, that meme. And it turns out they always had a nuke hidden somewhere and everybody's fucked. Israel could say, screw it, I'm going to use nukes. I don't know. Who the fuck knows? Like this is a random effect. Maybe it will happen like how it happened with India-Pakistan thing. It will just intensify. Things will get struck and I guess there will be some peace treaty or something like ceasefire that stays for a long time. But then again, India-Pakistan is different. Middle East is different. So who knows? Let's voice one.
On Iran. Today we're going to learn how Mossad intelligence agents on the ground inside Iran sabotage their enemy's most precious assets. The gigantic 200 aircraft air campaign overhead, a battle damage assessment of both forces.
Fallout Cup. Oh, there we go. Isn't that appropriate? Yeah, we're reaching that point. Yeah, okay. Take a sip from trusty canteen. Right, that's what that was. Fallout New Vegas.
Attacks, and what this might mean for the balance of power in the entire region. Welcome back to Cappy Army. I'm an Iraq veteran and war correspondent. We make weekly videos about wars, weapons, and geopolitics. The first thing you need to know is the Israeli ground sabotage took place in 3 phases. Phase 1 started 8 months ago, when Israeli operatives from Mossad were already inside Iran, living under fake identities. This is when they began work on the mission. For months, they smuggled in drones and explosives through the borders. Ordinary civilian vehicles were then modified in-country so they could launch attack drones. They were attack drone platforms. These disguised, weaponized trucks were then parked at key locations throughout Iran. Each one was placed within 20 kilometers of their target so that they were within range. They were focused on knocking out Iran's SAM sites. This means Israeli intelligence was able to get a fix on the location of Iran's radar network and their anti-air systems, and they were able to penetrate perimeter security to get close enough.
Gee, I wonder how they did that. Mossad is scary. People have been saying that like Mossad is really powerful all around. Like you can't really compare that to anyone. That's how they are when they do their thing. Yeah, this is example of that.
With these vehicles. So on the morning of Friday the 13th, these drones were activated and they flew out the backs of the vehicles to their targets, destroying air defense assets and crippling Iran's air protection. I would say that this is unlike anything we've ever seen before. I would say that this is unprecedented. But this is literally exactly what we just saw Ukraine did with their drones in Russia like a week ago. Now, phase 2 of the attack, though, makes this very different than what we saw in Russia, because at the same time as all this attack drone tomfoolery was happening inside Iran, a covert group of Israeli Special Forces commandos...
Is Israel and Mossad helping Ukraine against Russia? It would make sense. Russia, Iran are like really buddy. I don't know. It could be if they have such a similar tactics like that. I don't know.
Infiltrated on the ground into central Iran, possibly by stealth helicopters or cargo planes that were seen operating in Syria later that day. The commandos avoided local security as they made their way to the remote locations in the desert. Their mission was to destroy Iranian anti-air missile systems. The soldiers used Spike non-line-of-sight missile launchers, which means those mad lads infiltrated to within 30 kilometers of their target. The team of agents fired these remote-controlled munitions and steered them mid-air straight into the air defense systems, knocking them out. Spike missiles have very little signature when they're fired, meaning they're not that as loud or as much of a thermal signature as some other weapon systems, which allows them to stay undetected. This system is a perfect tool for the job, since it can be launched from indoors and from concealed spots. The fire and forget mode basically allows the operator to accurately guide that round midair onto the surface-to-air missile systems that they were targeting. So Spike missiles have a hit probability of over 95%, and they have a margin of error of less than 1 friggin' meter. I had all of that done in 3D and animated, because stuff doesn't make sense to me if I can't see it visually. But these ground attacks were only the beginning phase of this insane operation, because wait till you see what they have cooked up next. If you're someone posting spicy political memes online, your personal information...
Isn't 1 meter like kind of problematic when it comes to vehicles? I mean, I get it, like, okay, vehicles are long, it's like multi-meter, but 1 meter could still be just enough to like miss just a crucial point and target is not destroyed, right? I don't know. But yeah, latest technology, like India used stealth missiles, French stealth missiles, Scalp and Hammers against Pakistan. They couldn't do shit about it. So yeah, technology is insane, like when used right. Yeah, well, go to original video page link or go to joindeleteme.com/CappyArmy and support this channel.
And use code CAPPY to get 20% off. Links in the description. Back to the episode.
Also, the change of
I know
tone.
some people prefer to have some IRL proof. Since then, we've learned Iran is warning that these vehicles are what Mossad used. We also believe that they used pickup trucks, smaller vehicles than basically what we saw in Ukraine. So we can see here, actual thermal video footage was released by Israel of their commandos on the ground in Iran using night vision goggles and what appears to be thermal blankets that conceals their thermal signature if they were going to be spotted by Iranian security forces. The fact that Israel released this video footage of their spies operating on Iranian soil is for a reason, I think. Normally, spy agencies bend all the way over backwards to keep their sources and methods under wraps. The likely reason that they chose to reveal this because they wanted to show how ineffective Iran's security is.
Yeah, because they need America. Israel needs America in every single way. So basically why Ukraine releases a lot of footage, right? I think it was Enforcer who said that like nobody's like the champion of like open transparency like Ukraine is. Yeah, because they have to. They rely on Western support. Israel is kind of in a similar way. They need USA to fight this. So if a country like USA does this, they don't have to release anything because they don't rely on it. They rely on themselves. So why give out information? That's how you... So when a country relies on themselves and don't need much support from someone else, yeah, they're not going to give you details and clips, are they?
And how they operate with impunity. These agents could have exfiltrated out of there, because I'm always curious about, you go to one of the most dangerous spots, how do you get out of there? I get that they got into there, but how do you get out? So it might have been by helicopter, since Iran's air defense maybe couldn't have picked them up, like they did with the Syrian missile-based raid that they conducted about a year ago. So it's possible cargo aircraft could have picked them up. We saw them flying over Syria the next day. Maybe they recovered them. It appears to me and everyone watching that Israel's going for full-on raw dog regime change. All right, let's go into...
Okay, what? Helicopter, I mean... literally GTA mission where you fly under the radar and radar doesn't pick you up. Is that what helicopter... What? I was assuming helicopters are becoming redundant because of like how advanced anti-air defenses are becoming. Like helicopter can't be stealth. How is helicopter gonna do anything against a radar? A plane can run away, use flare or some shit like that, right? And be stealthy and like, yeah, SAMs can't do much against that. Helicopter can't do that. But helicopter can ride solo. That SAM, like that makes helicopter really powerful tool, doesn't it? Like, okay, so why doesn't like countries like American advanced countries, I guess Russia's still doing that, why American other countries are not developing advanced helicopters? I'm pretty sure I haven't heard about anything like Apache and things like that are already old, right? Russia is like that country who always like try to make a powerful helicopter for some reason. America doesn't do same thing because I don't know, like different doctrine, different fight style or something, I don't know.
Into phase 3 of the ground sabotage. It's probably the most insane of them all. Since at least 2024, Israeli undercover agents have been working on secretly building a kamikaze drone base inside the heart of the city of Tehran. So they didn't even put it in a mobile launcher site. They were just building it under their noses, right on their soil the whole time.
That's kind of effed up, isn't it? Like, that's the city, right? And you're gonna like, that makes you even more important. You don't want to do that because you're clear target by that point. This city is already clear target. Now you have this shit. Like people are like, yeah, let's definitely attack that now because it's like, one stone, two birds or whatever, right? Like, why would you do that? It's like putting like a key important like nuclear energy plants and shit like that in your capital city where your whole government and everything is. Like, why would you like spread out those things? Why are you doing the same place?
This was carefully placed right on the outskirts of the city. They call it a base, but it was likely a house, and almost certainly in violation of their HOA. Inside the house, there were attack drones programmed to fly at the nearby Iranian base of Esfiltration. This is one of the most well-protected, highly sensitive bases, because it's where they have a number of their long-range ballistic...
Okay, wait a minute, I've read that completely wrong. Wait a minute, I've read that completely wrong. Like, the Israelis were doing that, creating a kamikaze drone base. And I just thought Iran, like, okay, Iran's big facilities inside Tehran. Like, okay, like Iran is known for drones and kamikaze drone and shit like that. That's what Iran does, right? That's what they gave that to Russia and everyone. So I assume like he's talking about Iran or Israel. Oh, that makes sense. I'm like, it's likely a small house. I'm like, what the fuck? Iran can't afford a factory? What you talking about? No, that's not the case.
Nearby Iranian base of Esfiltration. This is one of the most well-protected, highly sensitive bases because it's where they have a number of their long-range ballistic missile launchers. The drones were remotely activated by agents in the middle of the night at around 3 a.m. They struck the missile base,
shit, man.
And then additional kamikaze drones...
This is Hollywood shit, like Israeli having a base like that, middle of the fucking city, nobody knows about it. It's like Call of Duty campaign, like that's insane.
They're to have targeted high-value generals and scientists living in Tehran. Israel tricked some of Iran's top commanders into gathering in the same place for a meeting. They did this by studying their movement patterns, and then they were able to eliminate them all in this way, according to Israel at least. The goal was to nerf Iran's retaliatory capabilities. The explosive one-way drones targeted surface-to-surface missiles that were going to retaliate against Israel, based on what they'd seen happen in the past. This sabotage took them a year to smuggle commandos and weaponry through their borders.
You know what surprised me? The Mossad and Israeli commandos, basically, they can literally take out key people in key structure of Iran without even throwing missiles. Like, they could have done this covertly. Why are they throwing missiles then, if they can't do this? This is CIA level shit. Obviously, Mossad is known for this. So why are they throwing ballistic missiles and, like, making your own country unsafe? Because Iran is going to throw at you as well. So they could have done this, like, more covertly, right? Like, like that hitman level shit, like assassins and shit like that. Taking out the key structure of the entire government. Like, basically, they're crippled at that point. Right, some kind of regime change would happen after that because like nobody else is left.
This paved the way for what would happen next. Once Iran's air defense had been hit hard, a massive coordinated air campaign involving 200 Israeli fighter jets attacked. Israel deployed a mix of F-35s, F-16s, and F-15s. They likely traveled through Syria, which right now has limited to no...
If you have F-35s, why are you using F-16? F-15 makes sense. Maybe it's like a heavy payload one. But if you have F-35, why are you using F-16 at that point?
Air defense.
Oh, I guess ground support, right? Because F-16s can't do that. Ground support, like how A-10 Warthog does, but like at a smaller scale, right? People say like, okay, this, stop making A-10s because F-16 can do its job, like probably something like that.
The F-35s used external fuel tanks likely to extend their range at the cost of stealth.
Don't need to worry about too much stealth.
GBU-31 500-pound JDAM precision bombs designed to hit specific targets. In total, they fired something like 330 munitions so far from the air. Now, that was
American equipment.
An old estimate as well, so it's probably much higher now. Their special forces had destroyed the city's air defense. The jets had...
Yeah, Mossad intelligence and full-blown American equipment. That's what the display was there.
Had air superiority. They could operate with impunity. There was reportedly very little activity seen from Iranian air defense. The Israeli Air Force reportedly flew SEAD missions, which are suppression of air defense. So they destroyed around a dozen radars, and then we'll get into the battle damage assessment later of how many air defense systems were destroyed, but it's a friggin' lot. The fighter jets were able to penetrate deep into Iranian airspace and launch their standoff missiles at individual targets. These could have been fired from up to about 400 kilometers or 250 miles away and could have hit individual buildings. The F-35s hit residential apartment buildings in Tehran, which is an escalation compared to what we've seen happen in the past. Nuclear facilities and missile production bases were hit. Over 100.
Why residents are the key military people, I'm gonna guess. Okay, so what is happening? I'm really confused here. So Israel did this operation, surgical operation. Iran responded with just carpet bombing Israel, like randomly, like civilian dies, like that's what their goal was. Did Israel did the same thing with Iran after that? They did their carpet bomb Iran, or there's still like surgical strike at key infrastructure? Because why is there like only one side can play by the rules and other can screw it? Like I'm gonna damage your civilians because that's how I do. Like same shit did happen with Pakistan and India. Pakistan just point blank like bombed the shit out of everything just randomly through all the missiles. Like it just even hit the home. While India was surgically attacking places, putting out footages and data like what we are doing. But Pakistan can just like do shit and just like we didn't do it now. So Arma 3 footage. Like is this the world we live in now?
100 different targets inside Iran were hit during 5 waves of airstrikes. This hit the Natanz nuclear site and targeted their ballistic missile sites at Bid Kana. That's where several of their missile development and production facilities are located. Here on the map, you can see all the locations that were confirmed to be hit. This has been the first few days in what we anticipate will very possibly be a weeks-long air campaign of multiple sorties by Israel and Iran.
Cappy knew it. Oh, he knew this is not gonna stop now. Like I'm pretty sure he made this video the first time Israel attacked Iran, which is like nobody knew how it's gonna happen. But yeah, obviously, like anybody with military brain like him can just like calculate how this is gonna go. And he was right. Like it's already going on today, like back and forth. When the dust is settled, like I hope most of the Iran and Israel doesn't look like how Gaza looks, because that's just like in the end of the day, what did you achieve? You just destroyed everything and people. Like that's just fucked up. In the end of the day, like let's ignore politics and ignore countries. What are you achieving? Just destroying people and people's lives. Like that's fucked up. There has to be some better answer, man. This Middle East thing is insane.
According to word from their officials, the Institute for the Study of War stated, strikes that destroy components of Iran's air defense systems will cause a temporary disruption to Iranian defenses that would enable Israeli fourth-generation, non-stealthy aircraft to operate in Iranian airspace with greater ease. Israeli officials claim to have full control of the airspace, without a single Iranian jet being scrambled in response, because their air force is essentially non-existent. For many years, the popular saying has
always... That can't be true, right? That can't be true. Because if that's the case, like, I don't know, like, if you don't have control of your own airspace, Israel can basically fuck you up with the planes and everything. Like, what else is left? Like, by that time, if I'm Israel, I would just, like, basically invade the country if that's the case. Like, it's very easy if you dominate the skies. Like, what else gonna happen? What else you gonna do? Like, you don't control the sky, because that feels like too much. Like, no way that's the case. It's like saying American border is so big they can control it so anyone can invade. That's not true, is it? It's like one of those key points. Like, yeah, Iran can't have like no control of the skies. That can't happen.
Always been that amateurs talk tactics while experts talk logistics. But now the line between logistics and tactics have been blurred. I think we're seeing the weaponization of transportation systems unlike anything we've seen before in military history.
Now, logistics are tactics, has been for the long time.
Let's talk about where Iran's air defense is at, because Iran started firing...
Okay, is my speed low? No, it's normal. Did he change his speaking style? He's speaking very slowly, right? I mean, I like it, I'm not gonna lie.
Old school, antiquated anti-air flak into the sky. So, like, it looks like a picture that wouldn't be out of place in World War II. Their most common type of anti-aircraft gun is the Zu-23 mail cannon. Can fire 3 kilometers out, but Israeli fighter jets firing glide bombs, fly higher than that and would be definitely out of range. Iran claimed that they'd shot down 2 Israeli F-35s so far, though. So far, we haven't seen evidence yet. Let's be honest.
By the way, this is so fucked up to me. Like, this nearly happened in my country with India and Pakistan, but it didn't. I guess in the end, politics won or something, like it should. But yeah, I'm a builder, like I said. Like, there is a thermal plant that I've been working on in near the border of Pakistan. One of the drones that anti-defense system shot down fell down where the site is. And everybody's like, me and everybody, okay, there you go. I guess we're going at vacation. And everybody just went back. There you go. This is going to take a pause now. And obviously in a day or two, like, yeah, ceasefire happened or something. Obviously nothing exploded, but it's still like dropped on the ground. Like, you don't know what's going to happen then. So F that. This thing is stopping. Right? It's also stupid to me. Like, okay, why are we making a thermal plant, which is like a key infrastructure an enemy could target near the border? I didn't get that point, but okay, I guess. But then again, it's like thermal plants are everywhere. Like, yeah, okay.
Honest, let's hear it's not mince words. This is, I think, theatrical. It's for the Iranian leadership to make a show of force for their people on the ground who might not understand otherwise that this anti-aircraft flak fire is ineffective. But it's about it. Seeing flak instead of anti-air missiles going up into the sky is some visual evidence that air defense was destroyed by the Israeli ground sabotage. Iran claimed that they'd shot down 2 Israeli F-35s so far, though. So far, we haven't seen evidence yet. All we've seen is one uncorroborated
bullshit. If F-35 gets shot down, that's a big-ass deal. Americans would flip out. There would be some kind of intelligence leak, like, yeah, this actually happened and people are pissed off. No way that happened. F-35 is not something you can just shot down and like, yeah, it's fine. Like, there's a reason people don't use B-2 bombers and shit like that a lot of time, because they don't want that to be shot down. There's a reason why Nighthawk being shot down long, like in 90s or something. Like, what the fuck, even though it was a old technology by then. You don't shoot an F-35 down and people don't get pissed off about it. Like, America don't get pissed off about it. If anything, that would give incentive to America to join the war. Why? Because if Iran can gather the wreckage, reverse engineer that shit, they have 5th generation plane equivalent to F-35, nearly. And America can have that shit, right? So, I don't know. Like, America would find an excuse to get in the war. They haven't done that. If anything, I'm pretty sure Trump is saying we're not going to do this type of mentality. So no way F-35 got shot down. That's what I'm thinking.
Corroborated fake computer-generated AI image that has a combination of F-16, F-35, different parts that reveal that it's not real. But what about the battle damage assessment so far?
Satellite was happening with Pakistan, right? Like, oh, there you go. This SSL2 interface, man, it's like one of the costliest one. People told me it's really good from Britain. What is it, Oxford or something? I don't know. Like, they made it. And the input switch is so fucked up, like, even if I don't press it right, like, it just loses connection. Fuck it. Like, I was like, oh, wait a minute, is it the mic? No, it's not the mic, it's a stupid interface. So yeah, this shit was happening with India-Pakistan thing as well, right? Like, Pakistan was basically just like using a lot of like, old footages from Ukraine, like Arma 3 footages. Phosphorus was constantly like, debunking this shit, like this from this time, this from the Arma 3, this from this time. But the point is, damage is done. People are going to believe this. AI has become so fucked up. Like, if I open like Instagram right now, right? Let me check for 1 second. Oh, no. Somehow when I want to show you, like, yeah, Instagram doesn't show me, like, then again, I blocked a lot of those people. But yeah, every time I open the Instagram, there's always a, like, oh, bridge collapse. And there are people underneath and cars underneath that are crossing down. Like, what the oh, no, wait a minute. That's AI. Because one guy in the background can literally, like, like Venom morphing in and out. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking AI. And that shit was, like, too intense. AI is everywhere. It's dominating. And most people won't be able to see the difference, like, oh, that's an AI or not. Right? Oh, suddenly there was a water bridge and suddenly something collapsed, car went down. I saw in the background, again, small guy who's like also like doing Venom shit. I'm like, yeah, again, AI. But then I had to like really look for that shit. How average people are going to like differentiate? So this is the world we live in. People are going to show you like Arma footages, AI footages, and there you go, that's reality. And people, keyboard warriors somehow has real time in their hand. to spread this misinformation because somehow, I don't know, they get off on it or something. Oh, look at this F-35 destroyed, and just they made it in like, I don't know, Adobe Spark or some shit. I don't know, right? Adobe Photoshop. There's many software out there, and there you go. And people are just gonna try to debunk it. That's the world we live in. Misinformation at a whole other level.
Satellite and radar images are coming in immediately because there was no cloud cover. Initial information suggests they targeted about 25 of Iran's nuclear scientists. It appears like at least 6 of them were killed. Their whole high-up leadership was targeted, and at least 30 senior Iranian commanders have been killed so far. 40 Iranian air defense systems have reportedly been destroyed since the start of the operation. Israel released multiple videos of Iran's ballistic missile launchers getting destroyed by their ground operators. This could explain why it took multiple volleys throughout the day for Iran to reach 150 missiles fired at Israel.
So operatives on the ground, so bomb planted from Counter-Strike. Is that what's happening? Okay.
When they normally fire them all at once. The commander of the Revolutionary Guard and military chief of staff were both confirmed dead by Iran themselves. Take a look at their military command structure to give you an idea of how devastating this has been for Iran. This is meant to create a leadership vacuum that made quick retaliation more difficult.
Wait a minute, wasn't the Iranian leader died in helicopter a few years ago? A year or two ago? I don't know. Right? Did that guy got replaced or something?
What's escalated and different here compared to some of the attacks we've seen in the past is they targeted these generals and scientists at their residential homes in
Yeah, this shit is intense looking at that kind of hole because just damage done wrong in certain key places and the building collapses.
Iran. The Iranian government confirmed the deaths of these high-value leadership and that 78 people were killed, including over 320 wounded in the Israeli attacks, according to Iran. They claim the majority were civilians. So one of the things that stuck out to me as really interesting is what we're not seeing as much as what we are seeing. It's shocking that we haven't seen or even heard from Hamas or Hezbollah, these proxy forces of Iran that in the past have been the type of forces that would launch
I didn't even thought of that. They're cooking something. Oh god. Oh god, like the next, oh shit, that could be like planning something big. Because Iran is like a puppet master. They're like controlling all these proxies and doing all this shit. Israel attacked Iran directly. They must have something extreme in the works. That's the fucked up part. Let's just thinking about that is like, you know, like panicky, right? Like what the fuck? Like next week or so is probably crucial, like if something fucked up happens. But then again, if something fucked up happens, so yeah, that would force countries like America to join in the war. Even if civilians don't want it, right? Most people in America don't want to join the war, but I guess that's not how global politics works. If certain event happen, yeah, American military will enter that, right? Even if people don't want it. People will protest, same way they did with the Vietnam time, but that's not gonna matter.
Attacks on Israel normally in a situation like this. And what about the Iranian retaliation so far? The fact that Iran is now targeting Israel's population centers and residential areas is an escalation compared to what we've seen in the past. A few apartment buildings were hit, and then another volley later on ended with Israel's military headquarters getting struck. It's called the Kiryat, which is like their version of the American Pentagon. A war correspondent on the ground in Israel, Trey Yingst, said, quote, an entire block nearly completely destroyed, wiped off the map. So far, 150 Iranian ballistic missiles were fired, which is similar to past attacks that they've done on Israel before in terms of volume.
What is the payload? What missile are they using? That entire block is destroyed. Oh, this is some next level shit. I'm not gonna lie, man. I guess people are so desensitized with all this shit that people are not talking about this, not at the level that they would be. Because Israel did attack Iran, but it was like a military and operational places. Yes, Iran said like civilians died, and they probably did, but it was like trying to attack generals and scientists and shit like that. Iran is just carpet bombing Israel because it's a revenge thing. Randomly attacking just like civilian areas. Entire blocks are getting destroyed. Like 20 years ago or something, people would have lost their mind. Entire world would have like got pissed off at this. The people are so like after the Ukraine thing, now Gaza thing has been going on. India, Pakistan nearly blew up. Like people are just not paying attention. That's just fucked up.
Volume, at least 7 of the missiles avoided air defense interceptors and hit the ground and impacted.
Yeah, you can.
Video evidence shows some of the missiles were intercepted, though. In the past, Iran only fired missiles at Israel's military bases. The attacks weren't that accurate because hitting a plane with a ballistic missile, hitting a plane-sized target is much more difficult than hitting, say, an entire city. So they were able to kill at least 3 Israeli citizens, and over 40 people were wounded, according to Israeli officials.
What are you talking
so far.
about?
My personal
3? Bullshit. You said entire block was destroyed when nobody was there. I feel like this is not like completely true. 3? Come on. There's no way in hell it's just 3.
people were wounded, according to Israeli officials so far. My personal assessment of the attack so far have been that Iran has been unable to inflict similar strategic blows to Israel so far compared to what they've received. This could change tomorrow. Israel began targeting Iran's economic sector, hitting their oil fields, which is something they haven't done in the past. It's an escalation that they said they would do if their
Dude, why are you holding mic like that? This wire here.
population centers were hit.
This fucking wire here is the piece of shit. Like I have the same. It's like if I touch that wire, it will throw static at you. In my previous video, like people have been complaining about that as well. So you must have known like there was always a static, like real static when I talk about it. It's because of this stupid wire. If you touch it, that just goes haywire.
It's important to note this all started with what Israel calls their begin doctrine. Israel officially drew a line in the desert sand and made it policy, a principle, that they won't allow an enemy state to acquire nuclear weapons, and since then they've bombed Syria's nuclear reactor and now Iran's. So what has the American response been so far? 2 U.S. naval destroyers are assisting with shooting down Iran's missiles, alongside multiple American Patriot batteries that have been moved.
What the fuck? So it's not just Iron Dome, it's Patriot working there as well. Wait a minute, why not Aegis? Like, isn't Aegis like a Navy's thing? Like a ship, like helping?
Into position in recent months, as we've talked about, and THAAD anti-air launchers are also in position. This could explain why the US diverted some 20,000 interceptors from Ukraine to go to the Middle East for US troops instead a few weeks ago. It's confirmed that American fighter jets are now patrolling the skies in the Middle East region. They're now on station overhead, protecting US troops and facilities. And
Oh god, imagine if one of the Iran missile hits the American jets and blow that shit up. Oh no, then the music plays in the background, slowly approaching, getting louder and louder, and Iran is completely fucked at that point.
I think this is a major hint as to why Israel was even able to consider this attack. This is just my personal opinion, and you guys can tell me what you think, but it looks like to me that the type of targets that Israel went after here suggests that their goal was to weaken the entire Iranian government. If Israel doesn't have the military capability, the bunker-busting bombs necessary, the 30,000-pound variant of it, to completely destroy Iran's deeply buried nuclear program, then their best bet would be to delegitimize the Iranian government. Their best bet would be to take out senior leadership to show the world that Iran has no credible deterrence. It's possible to...
See, the problem with that shit is I don't like that. Why? Because the whole country's doctrine and feeling, if you're in a certain way, you just replace the people. Because the next guy that come in has the same mentality. Like, and then again, like all of this, like, I'm pretty sure a lot of this doctrine are also religious in a way, right? This is what Hamas's thing is, right? Like Hamas basically says like there can be no Jewish people, like there can be no Israel. Iran is like basically helping Hamas that way because Iran shares the same, like religious doctrine as well, right? Some country, Pakistan literally just say like Quran runs the Pakistan. Iran could work the same way. And if that's the case, the entire country, doesn't matter who comes in power, will have the same mentality. So changing the government won't do much. If you can't take out like nuclear site, you're basically screwed at that point. Because changing government won't do much. They'll just replace the people.
diplomatic dance over the past few weeks has been tailored to the attack as well. We don't have confirmation on when the US government knew these Israeli strikes were imminent, and we don't know if possibly the ongoing negotiations were used to provide a disguise to trick Iran in the final days into thinking that talks would continue into Sunday, because the top US envoy to the negotiations had planned a 6th round of talks on Sunday. 6 rounds. Maybe if they'd gone to 12 rounds of talks, it would have resolved. The 7th time's the charm. Was Iran really building a nuclear weapon? Israel says they were creating a crude warhead. Personally, if you ask me, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna need more evidence than trust me, bro. Just because it wasn't true about Iraq 20 years ago.
Okay, let's think about it. Why would Israel attack Iran if Iran wasn't developing nuclear warhead? Why would they use excuse like that? You could argue they're trying to disable Iran, so in turn it would disable Hezbollah and Hamas or something like that. And the way to do that is like they could say like Iran is making nuclear bombs, pressure America to join in. America joins the war. Iran basically becomes Iraq 2.0. Iran loses the government, power and everything. Iran is no longer a thing in that way, like the regime change and everything, like how Iraq happened, right? And yeah, all the proxies basically scatter away, and there you go, no war. I think that Israel could be thinking that, but to me that feels like way too wishful thinking, if that's the case. But then again, that's a gamble unlike anything. What if America said no? Which that is their sentiment, has been for a long ass time. Israel knows this, Mossad would know this, right? So this is a way too big of a gamble because America doesn't help you. Like, wow, what if you get screwed completely, right? So I don't know. Worse, what if America said, "No, this was too much. Why did you attack Iran? We're not going to help you," type of shit. Like, not even going to supply you weapons. What then? Just like a gamble. So there must be something true there. Like Iran having some kind of a nuclear weapon traces there, like Mossad having some kind of intelligence they can show to CIA and USA in that way, so USA still keep the support open. There has to be something like that.
Doesn't mean it's necessarily a CIA lie again today, but I'm certainly going to need a whole lot more evidence if you want me to believe it today. We know that the US's own intelligence assessments continue to say that Iran was not pursuing an active nuclear weaponization program as of now. How the heck did Israeli covert agents smuggle all those weapon systems into the country? Based on past Mossad operations, we know that foreign passports a lot of times are used from European countries so they can plant agents inside Iran. We know that in the 2010s, Mossad agents entered Iran as regular old business people, journalists, or aid workers, and they would build...
Where are you coming from? Germany? You don't look German to me. Yeah, I'm German, definitely German. So speaking broken German starts just like that. There you go. Deutschland, there you go. Yeah, okay, I guess you're German.
Cover stories for years prior to going there. These agents are then used to coordinate local assets. So they'll find people inside Iran that are sympathetic to their cause or that hate the current regime. They provide on-the-ground recon and they move the contraband drones and explosives over time, bit by bit. Previous covert actions used fake plumbing equipment, car parts, and appliances to smuggle in weapons. So they would disassemble the drones, the explosives, the launchers, and ship them separately. Then they would reassemble them in Iran. Add to that the fact that tools like 3D printers mean they could create parts in the country easily. Mossad has historically partnered with anti-regime ethnic minorities, like you got the Kurds in the northwest and the Balak rebels in the southeast. These groups control parts of the porous borders with Iraq, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. Is there a threat of drone attacks of these type from deep inside American soil? Is that a serious concern? It's possible, yes. This threat is more likely a problem for America's military bases abroad, though. And personally, I think it could explain why we saw drones going near military bases in places like New Jersey. They may have been running training operations to see if they could defeat against this type of attack that was being planned all around the world. Personally, I think it's kind of crazy how drones were able to in both Russia and Iran in just a matter of weeks. So I'm always curious, what is the US Army doing about this massive change with drone warfare? If you're interested in learning about how the American recon teams are planning to use kamikaze drones to defeat China, you could check out this video that we made here. As always, if you want exclusive content, the full
I like how he's like censoring and like showing like, yeah, I like this video because I won't have to panic about editing this video because there was nothing more to edit there. Maybe he did show some footages of shit happening, but then again, like I made a reactor Asmo Gold video and like that passed on fines. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, there you go. Israeli Commandos. It like I don't know like how this is gonna develop more and more. I don't know what's happening this time as I speak. Shit could have gone even worse than it was already. Because after this video, things got much worse, back and forth. So yeah, they like obviously he predicted like it's gonna be long term. Alright, well, if you like, make sure to subscribe and I'll see you next time.